Hello and welcome back to another Barn Automotive YouTube video. And in this episode, I will be installing the stainless steel exhaust that I have made, as well as some other bits like the wide body arches. I'll show you the process of putting on the front bumper and the A-frame. And that will probably be what we cover in this video. Maybe there's something else that I haven't thought of yet, but I think that will be it. To go over the stainless steel exhaust, this is it in front of me. We have the downpipes, midsection, and then the rear section. There's no back box in the rear, so there's no muffler there. This is a Corsa Performance sound box. So it's specially designed or like acousticed for the V8 engine. And the rest is just custom stainless steel. So yeah, Corsa Performance don't make an entire exhaust for an LS swap Defender. So I took parts of theirs and then made one that fitted this car. That is enough talking for now. So let's crack on and get this exhaust underneath. The first step of fitting any exhaust is the downpipe. So the downpipe fits straight onto the manifold. That's the first section of the exhaust after the manifold. And it's held on at the top with 2 bolts. And like a flange that squashes together to stop any exhaust leaks. With that downpipe in place, we have the lambda sensor that also needs to go into the downpipe, or your oxygen sensor, whatever you fancy calling it. And that one I will do up when I do the one in this one up as well. Now that we have that side done, we can move on to this side. And just to address something someone in the last video commented about the clearance between the drive shaft and the bell housing, and this little notch here, how much room you have between it when you're in the center with the engine. We're not actually central with the engine, we are off center, but the reason why I have so much clearance is because there's a 10 centimeter lift kit on the car. So we don't actually have any issue with clearance of the drive shaft on any part. We have plenty of space. And it is overextended at the minute. You can see the spline sticking out here. That is because the rear trailing arms, I've removed them because we're doing loads of details on the car in red, and they are new terra firma control arms or radius arms. So yeah, that's why, because the front axle is now pushed forwards where it's not connected at the back, it's now overextended. But that's enough of that. Let's carry on with the exhaust. Now we have both downpipes connected. We can move on and connect the middle section and then finish it off. Now there's some hangers that still need welding to the frame. So the midsection, there's one hanger that I've already done. That was a bolt-in hanger that I made. So I can hang it from the mid back, but the rear section of the exhaust still needs hangers making for it. I won't do any of these clamps up until I've got everything hung, and then I will come back and tighten these up. The reason for that is if they're not done up, I still have adjustment and movement in it to play around with where it sits. So yeah, get the rest hung, then come back and do everything up. these are the parts that still need the hangers welded into the frame. So I have a couple of cable ties that I can hang these from to get them in roughly the correct position. This is how we're looking with the tips on the rear. Still needs some slight adjustment. You can see that this one is kind of coming out this way and this one straight, so that one, I think when I do the clamps up, we'll pull in a little bit, and if not, we'll make some adjustments to make it sit correctly. Now that I am at a point where we're pretty much done with the exhaust, I will move on to the winch bumper A-frame and wide arches. Then once all that is done, we will do the first startup that everyone is waiting for. Now, it won't be the first startup. There is a startup procedure you need to follow to get the engine kind of running. So that has all been done, but it will be the first public startup that people can hear. The winch bumper is fairly straightforward to fit. 4 bolts and it's on. Nothing too complicated about that. And then to actually run the winch, there are a couple of cables that need running into the passenger side, and they will go underneath the passenger seat to where the battery is, and then that will power the winch. You have a separate remote control. With the winch bumper in place, I can put the A-frame on. I'm not going to bolt this in place. This is just to see how it looks and get any ideas if we want to change anything, because it's all going to come off when it needs to be sprayed again, so it's pointless bolting it all up right now. This will have 2 screws in the top with these little plastic brackets that clip over the front grille, and that will stay in place like that. I've also added 2 DRLs to the front of the bumper, so these will come on when your daytime running lights come on. And then up on the roof, the spotlights that I fitted when I installed the 6-point roll cage, they will come on with the high beams. So I will show you how that looks now. Once I've done that, we will move on to, no, we won't move on to, I'll show you the winch working, and then we'll move on to installing the wide arches. So this will be daytime running setup. You have the halo light, side lights, and then the strip lights in the bumper. Same on this side. And then when you want to go high beam, this will be high beam. Now you can't even look at it, it's that bright. And at the minute, 3 of each light aren't on. That is because they draw so much power to get all of them on. The engine needs to be running to make sure the status of the battery stays fully charged, or else they don't all come on. Let me turn them off. Show you the winch operation. You have 2 wireless remotes you can use from inside, or you have one that you come and plug into the top here, and then you can use it with a wired remote basically. So super simple to use. And that's that. Switch it off, and that's it.
And now to get the wider arches on the car, all I did was tape these into place, and whilst they were taped, I was able to drill the holes that will allow me to screw them in. Once the holes are drilled, I took them back off, deburred all around the holes, and then got them bolted onto the car. This process was the same for all 4 arches, so I'll only show you this one. And so this is it for the wide arches. Now you get more of an idea of how we're going to be standing.
The rest of the work done, we can now do the startup. And I think you are going to love the sound of this. That is a raw sound that comes out the back of this. Personally, I love it. I think it sounds great. It will definitely turn some heads as it's going down the street, and it has that like V8 roar. Let me know what you think of it. From now, we only have wheels that we're waiting on. There are major delays on getting the wheels from customs. That is really the only thing holding this project up and getting it on the road. I have had the heads up from the upholsterers that I can go and pick up the new Corby bucket seats and all the leather trimming. So in the next video, I will be getting that in the car, and then also the red details that will be going on the exterior. So things like calipers, side steps, the control arms, and then the exterior is kind of together and done. That is it for this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. Again, let me know what you think about the sound, and I will see you in the next Barn Automotive YouTube video.